What's the matter?
Why, does it show that much?
Well, you look about as dismal as a bloodhound with a head cold.
I've been reduced to writing the obituary column.
What happened? I'd read your mind, but my hands are full.
Well, I missed out on the biggest news story of the year. I was having lunch with Lulabelle. And right across the street, there was a $2 million jewel robbery. The entire Beaudelaire collection. Well, by the time we got over there, every reporter in town was there.
But didn't you hear the police sirens?
I was having lunch with Lulabelle.
Lulabelle must be some girl.
Yeah. Want to see her picture?
Never mind, Tim. I think I get the picture.
Well, if only I could have that lunch hour to live over again. Hey, Uncle Martin. I can. Your time machine.
My CCTBS? It's too risky to be used on frivolous things.
Frivolous? Look, we're talking about my bread and butter. The only step below obituaries is the unemployment line. Anyway, I don't want to go back in history. I just want to go back to noontime.
I don't think so. It's too dangerous for earthlings to know what's going to happen next.
Well, now, how could it possibly hurt me to know what's going to happen next? I've been watching TV reruns for years. You'll never regret this, Uncle Martin.
I already do.
Listen, this is going to be the scoop of the year. I can see it now. I was an eyewitness to a $2 million jewel robbery. An exclusive account by Tim OHara. That's going to make the front page. Story and pictures. See, I even brought my camera.
Present century, this year, this day, but what time?
Hey. I wonder what kind of a bonus I'll be. 1,000? 500?
Tim, please. Not when I'm setting the time. I almost sent you back to 1,500 BC. 12:20. Are you ready?
I will never forget you for this, Uncle Martin.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me. I must attach this cerebration electron memory shield so you won't forget why you were sent back.
From this one thing, I could be set for life. Hi there. Oh, excuse me, keep a sharp eye.
May I assist you, sir?
Oh, yes, I was interested in the Beaudelaire collection.
Oh, certainly, sir, if you will kindly step in this direction. Indeed, a dazzling array of precious gems. Are you familiar with the history of the collection, sir?
No, I'm not. But I have a very good idea as to its future.
Indeed.
Wow, what a haul.
I beg your pardon?
Well, what I mean is, this all must be worth an awful lot of money.
Indeed it is, in excess of $2.5 million.
$2.5 million? Wow, that's a lot of loot. Has anyone ever held this place up before?
Before?
Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. You see, what I meant was, Oh! Well, you see, this is a camera. I was going to take pictures of, I think maybe I better wait outside.
Well, nice of you to have it all open and waiting.
I don't know them.
Be a good fellow and empty those into here.
Hey, my picture!
got one.
Where?
This is the lookout man.
I heard him. He said this would set him up for life.
What? No, I'm a newspaper man. Look, I can prove it. I'll show you my press card. Let me just show you my press.
I knew it.
And it was no, if they have a newspaper that they publish in San Quentin, they're very strong.
But Detective Brennan, me? A jewel thief? Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's even laughable.
This is a very serious charge, O'Hara, grand theft.
Well, you know I'm not a crook. I mean, what would I do with the jewels? Half the time, I don't even wear tie tack.
Now, I want you to tell me the whole story, because believe me, I want to help you.
Well, I'd be glad to, because I know that
Starting with what you were doing hanging around the scene of the crime.
Oh, well, that's easy. You see, I went over to get a picture of... Oh, no, I mean, I went over I just happened to go by because I think you're right. I need help. Listen, why don't you talk to Uncle Martin, because this is all so confusing, and if you won't listen to me, perhaps you'll listen to him.
Why? What does he know?
Oh, nothing. I mean, he knows a lot about a lot of things.
Tim, I thought this didn't sound like you.
What do you mean by that?
It was that Fagan. That Fagan you live with who forced you into it, wasn't it? Of course. Home all day, no visible means of support.
But...
Oh, I should have recognized that devious mind at work, twisting you, bending you to his evil ends.
Uncle Martin?
Now, I want you to tell old Bill the real truth. After all, to believe that story of yours, wouldn't I have to be pretty stupid?
I refuse to answer that, on the grounds that I might antagonize a police officer. I told them who the crooks were. All you have to do is catch them, if anybody wants to.
Oh, yes, the real crooks, as you call them. You gave us an excellent description. These the men?
Yeah, I'd know them anywhere.
Roger the Rake and Slippery Sam, two of the most notorious jewel thieves on 3 continents.
Well, that's that.
Beautiful planning. Unfortunately, your Uncle Martin should have been a little more thorough.
What do you mean by that?
Roger the Rake and Slippery Sam are presently serving prison sentences for breaking and entering.
They're in jail?
For the last 362 days and the next 4 more. So you see, they couldn't have robbed Lorraine Jewelers today.
Martin.
How did you get in here? Under arrest, I hope.
I hate to disappoint you, but I'm here in my nephew's behalf as an amicus curiae, friend of the court.
Take a tip, O'Hara. I think you're going to be needing the friend, because right now I have a pretty good idea who's the real mastermind behind this caper.
Careful, Brennan, or you may end up getting sued.
May I ask on what grounds?
Impersonating a detective. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should like to avail myself of the legal right to confer privately with my nephew.
Don't think you're making a fool of me, O'Hara.
Why should I? When you have such a perfect do-it-yourself kit.
Uncle Martin, Brennan says the 2 crooks that I saw are still in jail. Now, if they are, how could they
I
possibly...
don't know yet, but let's make certain that they are the men you saw robbing Lorraine's.
Well, now, how are we going to do that?
By putting the Futuroid camera in reverse, making it a Pastoroid camera, so we can take a picture of the actual robbery.
Oh, I see. Sort of a on-the-spot picture, taken off the spot.
Now, just stay where you are for a moment. Now.
I was right. This proves it.
To us. Unfortunately, we can't show this picture to the police.
Well, we've got to show them something to get me out of here.
I know. We can get you out, temporarily at least, by posting bail.
Oh, can't you come up with something just a little more permanent than that?
In due time. First, I have to do something that would absolutely delight Lieutenant Brennan if he ever found out.
What? Go back to Mars?
No. Become a jailbird. Hey, screws! Ain't no tin can jail gonna hold Soupy Stanley. Crummy screws. Fake screws! What are you looking for, the parole board?
The cameras. You gotta be making a 1935 movie.
Must you?
What?
I said, must you?
You a trustee?
Of course not.
You sure talk like a trustee.
Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to listen to the radio.
Hey, Mac. How's about you and me busting out of this no-good crummy tin can, huh?
No thanks, killer. We'll be getting out of here in 3 days anyway, through the front door.
In 3 days? No kidding. Huh? Hey, you want to knock off a vault? I know a beautiful overstuffed vault, just begging to blow. Now,
No, thank you.
Shh. You sure you ain't a trustee?
And on the crime front, the police have no further trace of the missing jewel thieves who escaped with a record $2 million in gems yesterday. It is thought that they may be over the border by now.
We went over the border. Excuse me.
Stocks showed a steady gain today.
Three more days of this kind of east and it's oysters Rockefeller. Excuse me.
Hello? Oh, hi there, Lulu Bell.
Lulu Bell. I take it there's someone in the room and you can't talk.
That's what I like about you, Lulu Bell. You sure know how to take it.
No matter, I'll do the talking. Our two suspects managed a perfect alibi by escaping through a loose cement block in the cell floor, robbed Lorraine's, hid the jewelry, and got back before they were discovered. To exonerate you, we've got to let Brennan catch them with the loot red-handed. And I intend to set that up tonight.
Yeah, but Lulu Bell, don't you think your two friends are sort of locked into the idea of staying home?
That's my problem. To get them to want to escape again.
Well, I call that a break.
They'll be heading for Sherman Woods. So at 10 p.m., I want you to be waiting a quarter of a mile up the west road inside the woods. Brennan, of course, will be tailing you. Just be sure you don't lose that overblown parking meter reader.
Now, Lulu Bell. Flattery will get you nowhere.
I guess you two would like to be alone. You and Lulu Bell.
Listen, Lulu Bell. I mean, Uncle Martin. Our friend is gone, and believe me, he has no ideas being used. No, I completely pulled the wool over his eyes. Oh, now, come on, Uncle Martin. Have you forgotten that theater arts is one of my majors at UCLA?
So I'm positive the suspect will be rendezvousing with his accomplice tonight. And guess who's going to be right on his tail? He suspected I suspect. Captain, how could he? Did you forget that theater arts was one of my majors at Yale?
Don't shoot. Roger did it. What's the idea?
That's what I want to know. How's a guy gonna get in a restaurant here with you shooting your mouth off all night long?
Me?
He was talking in his sleep.
Yeah, like a stool pigeon in the DA's office. Some kind of jazz about getting away with $1 million in gems and burying it. Yeah, I'll say one thing. You sure got big budget dreams.
Yes. Well, why don't you just go on back to bed? Sam won't be talking in his sleep anymore tonight. Isn't that right, Sam?
Excuse me.
I hope so. If there's one thing that keeps me awake, it's a good robbery story.
My dear Sam, do you realize you nearly spilled everything?
How'd I know I was a sleepwalker?
We'll figure out some way to get him transferred to another cell tomorrow.
Maybe we could tell him he talks in his sleep.
But tonight, you've got to stay awake. And I'm going to stay awake to make sure you do. Now, lie back and start snoring. But under no condition fall asleep.
I'll tell you what, you fell asleep. And he found the tunnel. You must have done some more talking.
You think I told him where we hid the loot?
I think you better start carrying a silencer for your mouth. Let's hope we're lucky enough to get there before our roommate. Move! Hurry!
Hey, Roger, it's dark down here.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. Sam.
Uncle Morton? Hey, Uncle Morton. Shit!
Where's Brennan? Or did you forget this little melodrama is for his benefit?
No, he should be right down there. I drove slowly enough to get pinched for double parking.
Car 341, Lieutenant Brennan, have followed suspect to Sherman Woods, barricade Highway 56, and close in. I am certain he is about to lead us to stolen jewelry. As you know, Captain.
Yeah, you majored in criminal psychology at Dartmouth.
Over and out. It was a dupe.
That bird-brained Brennan. As usual, he's off on the wrong trail.
After all the times we told him to get lost, he picks now.
If only Brennan's legs moved as fast as his mouth. Your camera. It's our only chance. Now, Tim, now.
Well, we beat Soupy Stanley.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Got it. Now to write my acceptance speech for the Pulitzer Prize.
May I remind you that you're still out on bail? Or to put it another way, we're not out of the woods yet.
Oh, come on, Uncle Martin. What freak thing could possibly louse us up now?
Don't make a move, I've got you covered.
Well, if it isn't the Happiness Boys of Maple Park. Caught you red-handed, didn't I?
The law.
Bury it quickly. If we're caught with this, we'll get life.
But if you just use your eyes with their magnificent 20/20 vision, And look in here.
And give you a chance to pull a fast one? O'Hara, what kind of an idiot do you think I am?
I'd be delighted to give you a detailed breakdown if I had the time. But for now, will you just take our word for it that the real thieves are right in here?
O'Hara, I wouldn't take your word it was raining if I was standing in a cloudburst.
Hurry up! You're slower than your own brain.
All set.
What did you mean, all set? Are you crazy?
I just got through burying it.
You call that burying? It's lucky you didn't become a mortician. Now it's buried. I hope not.
You think maybe we could have buried it on a bed spring? Gopher?
I don't care what it is.
I ain't staying to find out.
This is impossible.
Hey, this stuff ain't human. I mean, it is human. Hey, Roger, what do I mean? Keep him up. Keep him up there.
Please, take us back to jail.
We confess everything. Can't fight evidence like this.
Lock him up, boys. Be sure and collect all that jewelry first. I wonder what happened to Brennan.
Well, it's goodbye to the great society.
Congratulations, Brennan. Those two cons confessed to the whole schmear. You sure had the right hunch about the two guys that were behind this whole thing.
I did? Yes, didn't I? Captain, this is O'Hara. He's a reporter on the Daily Sun.
Oh, of course, O'Hara. Always glad to have the press on hand. Sure to spell the name right?
Ah, Brennan, it's distressing to see how incompetent certain of our defenders of law and order really are.
Yes. Yes, I'd say that we have a valid claim for false arrest.
False arrest? O'Hara. Martin. To him, I know a little differences in the past, but underneath.
Good afternoon, Tim. Or was that a bad choice of an adjective?
You're looking at a Pulitzer Prize loser.
Don't tell me your films didn't come out.
Well, if you must know, they didn't even go in.
You couldn't have forgotten to put film in the camera.
Want to bet?
Then what am I going to do with it?
Well, that's just what my editor said. I'm back in obituaries.
Then after all this, you ended up exactly where you started. Don't you believe now that you can't change your history?
Yeah. But I'm a good reporter. It's just that I don't see... Oh, yes, I do.
Yes, you do what?
Uncle Martin, look. If you could send me back in time, again, to yesterday, I could load the film now. And then I'd be...
Yes? You'd be what?
Back in obituaries.